I just finished watching the Barbie movie with my daughter. I don't want to give away any spoilers. A friend of mine sent an article about how Barbie movie is about male fragility. And I think it's interesting because in the Barbie movie, there's two parallel worlds. There's a Barbie world where there's a Barbie president, Barbie Supreme Court, women president, women Supreme Court, like the women rule everything. And then, which is not the case in the United States in any way, the real world. And there's that side. So there's two different universes. And at some point, I don't want to give it away, but the characters cross over to different ones and they experience what it's like to be in the other side. The worst thing that happened to men in the Barbie land is that they're kind of ignored. Granted, yes, they don't have power because there's no men on the Supreme Court. There's no men president, and there's just the women have the power dynamic. But what women do to them is really essentially just ignore them. That really is it. But in the real world, as you know, in your real world in the real United States, the worst thing that happened to women is they're not feeling safe. There's inequity. There's pay gap, there is power dynamics, there is opportunities, there is funding, there is all the different aspects of patriarchy is kind of worse for them on here. And the movie, what it does is turn a mirror. And I think it's interesting that Mattel self-criticizes itself, because every single thing that a reason why I didn't want me as a Gen Xer, raising my Gen Z daughter to have Barbies, because everything I thought Barbie represented, they say this in the movie. So I'm like, okay, that's great that you're being self-critical about your role in the destruction of females, women, self-esteem through your dolls. But anyway, so I think that's interesting they do that. But what they also do is they turn a mirror on the society, because they have someone who comes from a world where men aren't privileged, don't have all the power, and enters the world where they do, and realize, oh my God, it's great to be a man. Because I think a lot of men, because they've only navigated the world in their male bodies, they do not appreciate all the benefits and privileges that comes to being a man. And so here you have someone who didn't get it, like, wow, it's great to be a man. So I was like, and then also I think it's great because it's also parallels to like white privilege. Because I think a lot of people who are white, it's really great to be white, especially in the United States and across the world, because you're granted the benefit of doubt of being honest, of being forthright, of being trustworthy, being creditworthy, of just being a good person. You're given that benefit of doubt. So you have to prove that you're not that. And it's the opposite what a lot of other people get. People treat you with suspicion. They're not given the benefit of doubt of being honest or smart or safe. And so if there were a place in the world, which I don't know if it exists, where white people are treated horribly for being white, like they aren't always granted benefit of doubt, and then they come into a place like United States and to say, wow, look at this, great being white, I think that'll be interesting opportunity, a learning opportunity to feel like, wow, it really is great. Like, I may not have wealth as a white person, but I do get just instant respect no matter where I go. And there's a lot of privileges, and people pay attention to me, people cater to me, and want to hear my opinion and hear my thoughts and give me the benefit of doubt of knowing what I'm saying, or being the authority figure in a room, or just knowing things. And so there's benefits to that, and that's a privilege. Anyway, so that, I thought that was interesting that they, the Mattel self-criticized itself, turn the mirror on society in terms of if it was just two genders, and having a critical look at each other. If people can see that. So it's a movie that's not just for girls and women empowerment, but it's also for boys and males to realize, hey, wait, okay, right. Yeah, it's cool. And if you have male privilege, that's great. If you have white privilege, it's great for you, because it's kind of like, so it's not about feeling guilty about it. It's about saying, I have this, been recognized, my fellow human might have a rougher go at it. So if I can have the opportunity, let me lend my male privilege. Let me lend my white privilege. For me, I don't have those two privileges, but I do have privilege of being a higher socioeconomic strata, being college educated. So all those privileges that I get, if I see someone who doesn't have those privileges and I can benefit them or help them, be kind, empathy, lend it. Why not? You know what I mean? So it's not about feeling guilty about what you have. It's about acknowledging it and not being in denial. I think what happens is people just they feel like their life is a meritocracy, and they get everywhere they have based on merit alone, and they don't want to acknowledge the fact that there's things that's unearned that has nothing to do with anything they do. It's just based on the skin that they're born in and the body that they're born in, that they get it. You know what I mean? So I had to work for my things, the privileges that I have. So, and there's other things, but whatever. So yeah. So but anyway, so that was interesting. All right, just wanted to pontificate or add that point of view. What do you think? Your thoughts about it? I hope I didn't do too many spoilers. I don't think so. I think you could listen to this message and still go to the movie and have a full experience and not be spoiled. But look for those things.